It's Tuesday, so you know what that means. Another episode of the Quick Five on the Short Men Only podcast. And for those in podcast land, you cannot see my shirt, but today I got on my shirt that says Fed Up. Yes, Fed Up. And I want to tell you a story about this shirt. So I purchased this shirt about 7 years ago. I was inside of a thrift store and just looking at different shirts. And I was into thrifting back then. So I went in there looking around and I saw this shirt. I was like, fed up. I need to get this. And it was important. I didn't know it at the time, but it was important that I get the shirt at that time because it described where I was in life. See, I would say probably about 6 or 8 months prior to that, had just gotten divorced. I'm raising 4 kids by myself. I was fed up with where I was at, what I was doing, how my life was going. I was just fed up. I was tired. I was annoyed. I was angry. I was all of those things. I was fed up. And so when I got the shirt, it spoke to me. And it was like one of those things where you get something and it's like, okay, what are you going to do now? You're fed up. What are you going to do now? And I realized something along that was the question I had to answer to myself. But I realized something along the way when I was, trying to figure out the answer to that question. What am I going to do? You know, I'm walking around with the shirt that says fed up on it. Like, what am I going to do? And then I realized something. Nothing changes until you get to that place where you say, I am fed up. Like, I'm tired. I'm not going to accept this no more. Until you get to that place, you're not going to change nothing. Until you get tired of being in the dark place. Tired of trying to be somebody you're not. Tired of feeling sorry for yourself. Tired of being mad at yourself when you can't please everybody all the time. You know, Tired of being mad at yourself or neglecting yourself. A lot of us do that, neglect ourselves. But nothing will change until we get fed up with all of those things. You know what I'm saying? Like fed up. And that was where I was at. I was tired. I was angry, like I said, and I was fed up. And I had to start doing the work now that I was fed up. It wasn't just enough for me to say, hey, I'm fed up. Like that saying, recovery, that's the first step, is admitting you have a problem. But then you actually got to do something about it. And that's what we're going to talk about in Thursday's podcast. So I want to make sure you tune in on Thursday for Thursday's podcast, because we're going to talk about how to get out of that dark place once you're fed up. Because, I know it can be done. I've done it. And I brought this shirt out again, because I feel like there's some areas right now in my life that I'm fed up in. And this shirt reminded me that, I've been fed up before. But I also did something about it when I was fed up before. So it posed the question to myself, like, what are you going to do now that you are fed up? What are you going to do? And that's the question I pose to you. If something in that list of things that you got going on in your life, something, I struck a chord with one of those things I mentioned, are you fed up? Or are you willing to keep just accepting it because that's all you feel like you deserve? Think about it. Because we only put up with what we feel like we deserve. So the question, I need to know, I need to understand, I need you to understand before this next episode is, are you fed up? And if you are you ready and willing to act now that you're fed up? All right? So I want you guys to think about that before the next podcast, because if you're ready, you're fed up, and you're ready to do something different now that you're fed up, Thursday's podcast is going to be for you. Because I got the steps. I'm going to give you the steps. Because the thing is, reach one, teach one. My job is to help you get out of that dark place. Because I've been in a dark place. And I have to work every single day to make sure I don't go back to that dark place. It's a constant battle. Because you're always one click away from, whatever. All right. So this is Jalal Wilson. And it's been the Quick 5 Short Men Only podcast. See y'all Thursday. Peace.